Thanks for being willing to play, sir. And that's what I'm wanting to do here, just play with this and see what we might be able to get up to that's useful for you, and to demonstrate how this might look. Is it okay if we make a recording?
Yeah, that's fine.
Future teaching? Thanks for that. What have you been doing recently where you've thought, now, this is me. This is the real me. If I could do more of this, that would be just terrific.
I think perhaps when I'm able to give somebody some insight into the way they're feeling or the way they are.
And when you are able to give that insight to someone, what is it about that you really like?
Well, it's being out of myself and
okay. It's hard to actually put it into words.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a sense of that feeling.
Yes, and I don't know whether you can get a sense of that feeling just by wondering about it, whether as you speak about it that will help you to get a sense of that, or whether it would be easier for you to not speak about it but just somehow allow that sense to come. But because we're having this conversation, you can make some kind of connection with it. And as we're in this conversation, you can be in the conversation as if you were a client. Or you can be somewhat out of the conversation, observing the different process. Or you can find yourself moving from one to the other, or perhaps from a different position altogether. I don't really know. But there's something about that experience of helping someone to develop an insight into their behaviour. And what else did you say?
Yes, and to make a difference in their thinking.
In their thinking, okay.
Perhaps turn a corner.
Perhaps turn a corner, okay. And what you like about that is that you can get out of yourself. Something about that you really like, if I'm hearing you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what could we talk about here that would make a difference for you? That might help you in some way to turn a corner? Some insight, some awareness, I don't know what. That could be useful for you.
What would be useful for me is to be more relaxed.
More relaxed?
Yeah, within myself.
Okay. You'd like to be more relaxed within yourself?
Yes, and feel less need to exert myself, probably.
Okay. And what is it about that experience of greater relaxation? What is it about not needing to exert yourself? I think we spoke before about, you used the word a sense of ease.
Yes.
Something about that.
I think that the experience that comes from being relaxed is more authentic.
Okay. So you don't like the kind of effortfulness because there's less authenticity in it. But when you are more relaxed, you can be more authentic.
Yes, with ease.
With ease, yeah. Okay. Very nice. So if we were to look at the model that we were exploring yesterday, just making a kind of comment aside, would it fit your experience to say that what's missing for you is a sense of ease and being authentic in making a difference to other people, or in other areas if you like?
I feel that I'm authentic.
Yes.
But I do feel a lack of ease.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's missing is that feeling ease.
Yes, within my body.
Within your body. Yeah. Okay. So, anything else that you might want to say before you go into hypnosis?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, because it's this experience, and because this experience is yours, it could be easy for you to just continue doing what you're doing. That's good. And as you can, continue with that.
So I'm smiling because I can feel the sensations through my body, and I know that I'm beginning to be hypnotised.
It's nice for you to know that you can feel that sensation and feel it with a sense of ease without any effort, and enjoy the ease of that as it continues to move through your body. And there may be something about the ease or the movement through your body or your enjoyment about that. I don't know what it will be. But as you find yourself focusing on that, there can be something about that that you can, in a very easy manner, find yourself becoming more absorbed in. And as that enjoyment continues, and why shouldn't you enjoy the experience of really feeling that ease in your body? And you made that movement before with your hands, as if that ease was spreading upwards in your body. And I wonder, as that movement, that ease spreads upward, just how soon you'll be ready to, in a very easy way, let your eyelids move downward. That's it. And you may already notice that they're starting to close. And you don't need to know exactly when they will close. And you'll only be absolutely sure that they will close after they will have closed. And because this is your experience, you can be curious about that. And because it is happening in exactly the way that it is, you can notice the ease as that continues. That's nice. And there are the changes in your breathing. Very apparent stillness in your body. That's it. And you let your eyes close so easily. Now I'd like to offer the idea and invite you to notice just how effortlessly that sense of ease is in your body. And as you're allowing this to continue, I wonder if you could let your attention go to some time when you had the experience that you were making a difference to someone, helping them to have an insight into something, perhaps assisting them to turn a corner. And in some way, as you're doing that, to notice how you can. Notice how you can be out of yourself and in some way notice how easy it can be for you, even though you can be out of yourself and probably attending to the other person, but at the same time be able to notice, perhaps in some way like out of the corner of your awareness, to just notice in some way that sense of ease in your body. And could you let yourself recall some particular time when you were making a difference? That's right, and your eyelids are showing that activity. And what's happening, so? What's happening as you look at that situation?
The situation has become smaller.
Smaller, yes.
Smaller and smaller.
Smaller and smaller. Good. And as you watch that situation becoming smaller and smaller, how can you notice that as it is becoming smaller and smaller, that sense of ease is spreading? Does it seem that the smallness of the issue allows for the ease? Or is it that the ease allows the situation to get smaller? Or do they both happen in somehow kind of like a reciprocal way? Or is there something else? Yes?
Yes, the situation has more or less disappeared and the ease is growing.
So the situation has more or less disappeared. And the ease is growing. And as you notice the ease is growing, what is happening for you? If you can comment on that without having to get into that, but rather out of that, just somehow noticing.
I'm noticing enormous energy.
Enormous energy.
From, especially I think in my heart and upper body.
Yes.
Just of which I call the ease, a sense of ease.
Yes. And as you notice that sense of ease and that sense of enormous energy in your heart and in your upper body, as you are noticing that, can you in some way find yourself learning that? Somehow becoming more familiar with it. As if somehow, without you needing to do anything, in a totally effortless way, it might even seem as if your body is learning that. And all you need to do is notice the ease. And the way that ease is allowing all of that enormous energy to be there, to be recognised by you. And can you enjoy that experience?
Yes.
Yeah. And the movement of your eyelids also lets me know that you are doing something with that. And you don't need to know exactly what you are doing with that. But you are doing something with it. And you may have some conscious awareness that you could speak about exactly what's happening and how it's happening and what would be useful for you to have that continue. Or it may be that you can somehow sense that something's happening, but not be able to actually put it into words, just what it is that is happening. Or there may be some to and fro about awareness, I'm not sure, I think I do, and I do, and then I'm not sure, in some kind of mysterious way. That you could be curious about, that you may have a sense of, but that you really don't need to be accurately able to speak about. And I certainly don't need to know and can't know so much about how you are learning that ease. And just how that experience of ease can continue in your body as a bodily learned experience of feeling that ease and knowing that ease and being able to make use of that ease. And because this is your experience, it can translate in your experience to be your experience that you can experience and really feel that ease as an experience that is yours. My words come from me. They're a function of me, the expression of me, and that's way less important than the way that this experience can be so useful for you. And I certainly don't need to know just how you are making your own learning here. Yeah. And there is that enjoyment and pleasure in the ease with which that's happening. In the same way that the corners of your mouth can lift ever so slightly without you needing to make any effort. You don't even need to notice the ease with which that smile is just there ever so subtly. And you don't even need to notice just how thoroughly you are learning that ease. For you to be willing to discover that you are. And I'm wondering what's happening for you at the moment, Sue?
I'm trying to. Your words are inviting me to remember And what I'm noticing is a pink light in front of my eyes.
Okay. And as you look at that pink light,
as I look at it, it grows.
And as it
from one side to the other side.
From one side to the other side. And as that happens,
I'm surprised.
Yeah. It's nice to know what a surprise feels like. You're surprised?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And remembering.
Yeah. Good. You don't need to know everything about just what it is that you are remembering to know that you are remembering.
And as it changes and it's becoming longer.
Yes.
Instead of shorter.
It's becoming longer.
Instead of shorter.
Instead of shorter. Wide. Okay.
And just allowing that, following that with my gaze.
With your.
With my gaze.
With your gaze. Yeah. And you can. And as you are, and as you continue, all of that in its own way as that continues. That's nice. Now, I don't know if it would be helpful for you to say something more.
The word continues.
Word continues?
As it lasts.
As
it lasts, as it continues.
As it continues.
Just gives permission to just let it go a bit more and to just loosen the experience.
Okay. So as you let it go, as it continues, and as you allow that loosening, you may be aware of some of the where and how, and in what way, very specifically or generally, about how that can be relevant to you, useful to you, beneficial to you. And you can also notice that no matter how much you are aware of how, there's so much more. you don't need to be certain beforehand, but you can be curious to wonder just how you can let this continue. Now I can be curious about what's happening to you right now.
And just being soothed, listening to your words.
Being soothed.
And also, again, the pink light.
Yeah.
And just sort of bathed in the pink light.
Bathed in the pink light, yeah. And can you notice how effortlessly that pink light bathes you? How easy that is for you to allow yourself to be bathed in that pink light. And I can say different things. I can use a whole range of words. You talk about many different ideas. But the important thing is for you to find your own way of being soothed, for you to find your own way of being bathed in that pink light. For you to become even more familiar with that sense of enormous energy. Easy. Enjoyable energy that can in some way provide an insight for you, which can in some way make a difference for you, which can in some way help you to turn any corner. And are you still experiencing that sense of ease and energy?
Yes, the light is like a globe.
Like a globe. And What else will be helpful for you, sir, in this experience? What else might be beneficial for you to say or me to say so that you could know that this learning is yours? For you to know that that sense of ease is yours. And that feeling of enormous energy belongs to you to use any way you choose.
I don't think anything extra is needed.
Good.
I think that this experience is quite confident.
Good.
And I trust in the body memory.
Good. So now that you know that you probably always have trusted that body memory, now that that sense of ease is part of your body memory, you can trust it to be there, and you can have access to it. Nice to know that.
Need this experience to remind me to not have to try hard.
Well, I'm glad that this is a body memory, not an intellectual memory only, so that your body can remember and your body can remind you. Because this experience is a member of your body. That's why you can remember it. And any time you forget it as a thought, the reminding from your body can be remembering as a body memory that can remind your thinking. Anytime your mind forgets, your body memory can remind it. Would that be agreeable? So perhaps as soon as you really know in all the different levels of knowing in your mind, but particularly in your body, when that sense of yes, the memory is there. When you know that, whatever that means to you, then you'll know what to do to complete this experience. When you know that you completed the experience, it can be very easy for you to just let your eyes open. And you might even enjoy noticing how easy that is. Maybe sensing that your eyes are going to open. Or maybe enjoying the feeling of the beginning of their opening. Or maybe there'll be a surprise and they'll just open. Then afterwards you'll think, oh, okay, that's what happened. You can't open them? You can. Your eyelids just remembered how to open. Maybe they needed to be reminded. But what's different for you now than when we started, sir?
Oh, I'm surprised to see all the people here.
Yeah, where do they come from? Yeah, it's nice to have a surprise, eh?
Yeah, I felt as though I was directed outwards, but in fact I'm not. But what's different is more a level of relaxation, of mental relaxation.
And how much effort are you putting into that?
None.
Oh, okay.
And it's the awareness of the experience.
Yes.
You know, the memory of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a body memory. Because experiences are experienced in the body. That's why they can last. That's how you can be sure that you can make use of it in a way that is effortless and can be so much at ease and relaxation.
I can get a better understanding that once you've had that experience, then you know, it's part of you.
Yeah. And because you've had that experience, and because as you say, it is part of you, therefore you're going to be able to use it.
My hands didn't want to move.
No. Why should
as
they?
if they were glued.
Yeah, you couldn't be bothered making any effort. It was so easy for you to just leave them rest there. So is that a place we might stop?
Thank you.
Thank you for trusting us with all of that. It's a gift that you've given us.
Oh, I felt it must have been very boring for everyone. I was aware of that. I was thinking, oh, this must be so boring. I'm not being, not articulating.
I saw the being polite. Did you thought of this, you described it being polite?
Yeah.
I thought, oh, that must be nice.